Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Libra. So, Libra, I've done your reading with my own deck, so the cards you'll see are from this deck. Libra, your reading started with a shift in perception with the very first card that came through, which is a major arcana. And if you've seen the thumbnail, do not get scared or worried about the meaning of this card, because yes, it is the death card, but because the way that it jumped out and the way that it flew on the ground, it set this this different perception of an image that has been extensively seen wrongly, right? This is, apparently the entire or the most important part of this message for you today, Libra. And I feel like there is some sort of, it's like the message unfolds as you go, as you experience. It feels like you are in the middle of a turmoil situation, or it's like there is a big transition that you're going through right now. It feels like this turning of the not the wheel, but the ship. So I'll explain myself with this very first card, which is, the death card, but the way that it flew, it came reversed. And I don't usually read reversals. I don't usually see the meaning of them as in like the contrary of the upward facing card. In fact, to me, the meaning of this card coming upside down is because it was showing me a very different image, because usually when it's like this, I see this as a slightly open door, a door towards the new, a door towards whatever is the future, right? And leaving the past behind. Sorry. So I'm back. As I was saying, this card was showing me a different perspective of this door, which I usually see, this very intense transformation that leads to crossing a door that it's like closing a door on the past, right? But because it came like this, today, Libra, for you, I feel like this image is not showing a door that seems too flat, seems too connected to the 2D. This is showing me movement, and this is showing me like a backwards perspective of a ship that was capsized in a way, because it's like this. It's almost like this is the capsized version of the ship that was about to sink. But now that it's like this, it's another perception of this transformation process that is instead of being suffering or to cause any sort of pain, it's actually just reversing something to the right way, to the way that the ship was built to move, right? So this cross here is coming through as the, I hope I'm saying the word correctly, the propeller behind the ship, the thing that moves the ship, right? And it's interesting because even though it's coming through as the cross, the way that I'm seeing now, because this ship is being turned, turned from upside down to the correct position. It's now facing the correct direction, and it's like on the position that it was supposed to be all along, right? So this is the surface, and this is the part that is inside the water, and so this is the propeller. And so now that this transformation, in a sense, has come to this culmination point where now the ship is in the right position, is no longer capsized, or is no longer, you know, being threatened to sink, right? Now this ship can move, and the movement that I'm seeing here, especially because of this card and also this card, but we'll get there. But so we have the Three of Wands and the Five of Cups. So these are like this, right? The Three of Wands over the Five of Cups. And so this is like the inverse position of how this propeller was when the ship was capsized. But now that is upright, now that is in the correct position, I feel like now whatever is fueling this motor, which was something that actually came up in Virgo's reading yesterday, about, you know, this fuel that comes from the heart. So the heart ignition is what is going to propel this ship forward. But I know I'm just jumping ahead of myself. It's just that now this image here, which is the last card of this part of the reading for you, Libra, is showing me that this propeller is now in the correct position for it to move with the fuel of love, which is so gorgeous. So as I was saying, you know, this ship was sinking, this ship was capsized, it was upside down, because we were only seeing things through fear of the transformation, because we've grown accustomed to, you know, trying to live like this with this ship turned upside down, thinking it was okay, thinking that was the correct position. But it, you know, always fearing change is what I'm getting with this upside down ship here with this death card. It's like fear was always leading us forward. So that was the reason why things were upside down. But now that this transformation process is, well, I feel like it's still an ongoing process for you, Libra. And, you know, perhaps this could be like more of a collective theme, right? We're still in the middle of this torment, which is actually here too, but we'll get there. So I feel like, yes, we are still undergoing some sort of shift, very significant shift collectively. But for you, Libra, perhaps it's like, especially because you are the sign of the balance, you know, finding balance in this scale, and, you know, turning things that were upside down upwards, now that it's like now things are slowly coming to their rightful place because of this transformation. And it's a transformation in perception, seeing the same thing that was upside down with a new perception now that it's in the correct position, right? So yes, it's like, I feel like saying to you, Libra, whatever this card is showing as the first card for you opening up this reading, any kind of significant change that you or the collective go through is still going to be perceived for the moment, because it's a still ongoing thing, an ongoing transformation. It's still going to be perceived through this door that it's still shut but slightly open. But for you, you already see that things are now in their correct position and not the opposite. You see what I mean? Because now you see that instead of a fearful threshold, is actually the turning of this ship that now is facing upwards. It's like now it's in this rightful position to move, right? And so these three cards here following the Death card, the Four of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, and the Three of Wands, this is all talking about how now there is, it's like, whilst this is still turning, so you know, the ship is slowly turning to be in the right position, and be ready to move. It's like for so long you have been trying to find a solid ground among the storm. It's like, so it's interesting, this 10 of swords, it's coming through as strong wind, strong. It's like in the middle of a whirlwind of, you know, chaos and just turbulence. And because of these two swords here in the middle, I feel like there's been two recent waves that, you know, just were even more turbulent than whatever was already very chaotic around you, okay? And you always trying to find, you know, because what I'm seeing here with the four pillars, it's what I'm hearing, four pillars. It's like this flat surface, which is supposed to be facing up and not down, you see? So here it's like you were always trying to find the solidity or the firmness or the it's like you were trying to hold steady through a very, very crazy and chaotic storm. Strong winds were afoot, and you knew that. It's like you were holding on to like these four pillars, which, you know, could be very particular to all of you, but it feels like these four pillars were the, it's almost like the only safe place that you could find, you know, in this turning of the ship, that would keep you, you know, with your head over the water. It's like you knew that these strong winds or this very heavy storm, the turbulence, whilst things were shifting, you could easily sink with it. You could easily be taken away, be blown away, right? It's like the ship itself is the safety, but because it's moving, you had to hold on steady while it was moving, right? So it's like you, what I'm seeing, it's like you always with your head, like, you know, in the, on the limit of, you know, drowning in a sense. And always, it's like this constant threat, but especially like very significant moments, two moments recently that felt like you would sink, that you would drown, but holding steady. It's like you always knew that this part, this flat part, was supposed to be on the surface of the water and not like this. So it's like you always kept your head held high, you know, to breathe, to be able to remain in this safe place, I want to say, and not drown, right? Because this is what I'm seeing here also. It's like the density or the strength actually of the winds, like these waves of wind, it's how I'm getting it. It's not even the waves in the ocean, right, that we would think that would really cause the you know, the turbulence, because, you know, a ship is supposed to be in the water, but because it was turned upside down, everything was upside down, right? The water and the air was also upside down. So you knew that actually what was turning this ship was not waves of emotions, because actually the water, yes, it is coming through as you trying to hold your head held high, you know, on this airy atmosphere, not to sink in. But you know, you knew, I want to say, Libra, that you knew that you had to hold on to these four values, to these four principles, because for you, it's like you knew that these waves of wind It's how it's coming through. These waves of wind, like a hurricane, these were what was really keeping this upside down, right? It's like the chaos was not in the water, although the threat was always to be sinking. The threat was in the air. The threat was the hurricane, the chaos that was, just how do I want to say this? It's like just a shift in perception. Like everything is opposite. Everything is upside down, right? The perception that the water will make you drown and the air, will give you oxygen to breathe, and you keeping yourself like to this limit, but always keeping your head held high, knowing that the shift of the air was important and actually crucial to make this move, to make this turn, to the right position. And so here with the Three of Wands, what I was seeing was the propeller here, because, this cross, it's coming through as like a triangular shape facing down, right? So it's the opposite of this, because this triangle is facing up. It's like pointing up, whilst the right position is for it to be facing down, for it to be pointing down, right? And so you see that things were perceived very, well, I was going to say naively perceived upside down, but I don't really know if it is naively perceived. It's just, for you, this fearful state of perceiving this transformation it always felt wrong for you. So now that things are moving to the rightful position, there is no longer fear, because there is no longer fear of the water, right? The fear is instead, it's not the fear of even this storm, because I feel like you held on so strongly to your core beliefs, to your safe port within something that was, constantly moving in a very shifting environment. But nevertheless, this turning of the position of the ship was also triggered by this, it's like the energy that was fueling this ship to keep upside down, to remain upside down, because what I'm seeing with the Three of Wands is like this wanting, this motor intentionally keeping this ship like this upside down, right? And these waves of wind constantly coming and being fueled by this intentional, energetic desire, or because I'm getting like it's not like there is a person doing this, it's like just the energy of fear that was, propelling actually the storms, and you knowing that this is good, the storm is good, although the fuel that was energizing and creating the storms were provoking the storms to try to hold this upside down ship, or this capsized ship as it was. You knew that eventually, even with the storms, because you were holding on to your ground, to your solid ground, to your core beliefs, you knew that this turning was inevitable, right? Because it's like, it's just the way it's supposed to be, I guess. And so with the three cards that are coming next, I feel like this is it's like this turning of, as I said here, this triangular shape pointing upwards, which is the old motor, the old propeller, right? Now shifting and pointing down. It's almost like instead of looking up, it's like this ship now is able to move because this propeller is pointing down, or, well, I want to say not only pointing down, but pointing inward because of these three cards. So we have the Seven of Cups, the Ten of Wands, and the Five of Cups. So these two cups are now talking about, you know, if this card was showing me the windstorm, right? These waves of storm, of wind, of really strong wind, like a hurricane. Because also, you know, we have the Ten of Swords right above the Ten of Wands, and this wands, the Three of Wands here was, you know, the capsized version of the propeller, right? Intentionally kept that way by the atmosphere, I want to say, because as I said, it feels like something bigger, like a society, or, you know, unseen forces that controlled the motor, that controlled the propeller. But because we have the Ten of Wands in the middle, surrounded by water cards, right? The Seven and the Five, and, you know, these two cards are showing me, well, first of all, this circular shape around one heart, and also this X mark. It's like now, but also, as I said in the beginning, this is showing me the movement of this propeller now, facing upwards, like in the correct position and able to move forward, because is this shifting. It's like I'm seeing this Seven of Cups as the movement actually of this capsized ship, you know, ready to sink, but for some reason, you know, by these unseen forces, kept that way purposefully, intentionally. And when it turns, because here it's like, this is the shift. There is the fear of the storm, or the fear of sinking, or the fear of drowning was fed by this upside down propeller, right? That was keeping this fearful threshold as something to be kept away, like a shut door, right? Like, do not cross this door. It is very scary, right? But things are moving, things are shifting. This ship is turning, you know, turning around, and in a sense, it's coming to its rightful position, as I said. And the way that it's turning, it's like the new motor, whatever is now igniting this motor, it's because there is a different energy. It's coming through, you know, because here it's like recently you've been through two waves of very heavy storm, very, you know, intense wind waves. I want to call it like that. But because now you're surrounded by, it's like this water is embracing you, and it's pointing you to the right direction, where it's going to be, there's going to be more movement, and through the water, you know, it's like navigating in a water that now you're not fearful of. And so the Ten of Wands here, it's coming through as a new energy that now is moving in the right position, you know, in contrast with this wrong position or upside down position that was propelling this ship forward. Or instead, it wasn't even propelling anything forward. It was just keeping this stagnant, right? This shut door towards transformation. But now that this is right, now things can move, and can move because now the ship is moving over this water, over this surface of the water, that it is what has been made to do all along. It's just that first we didn't know. And you, Libra, what I'm sensing here, it's like you knew it all along, and you knew there were, you know, two especially because, you know, it's another 10. So the two recent chaotic events that happened for you, or, you know, individually, or I'm getting more collectively, that you were part of, that you needed to really hold on strong to your safe ground, you know, in the midst of this turning of the ship. You know that it's also what is helping uh, to shift this propeller, because it's like course correction is what I'm hearing right now. It's course correction. It's like this new energy that is coming through, which has nothing to do with the traditional meaning, right? It's just talking about a new, well, actually two new waves of energy that are, it's like they are navigating in waters that are embracing, not scary, if it makes any sense at all. So I'm going to pull more cards for you, Libra, and also I'm going to pull from the astrological runes. So if you want to join me there, I'll be happy to see you. If not, I'll see you next time. Bye.